brought in to sort of direct and lead and help the secondary. It's really over the course of the last couple of weeks, and especially since the pads have been on, it looks like the defense has won some days out there, and the secondary's getting after it. What's your thoughts?
I think we've been doing pretty good. Offense early in camp, they were kind of getting after us a little bit, but, the more reps we've been getting as a defense from the defensive front, linebackers, and secondary, the more reps we've been getting better and better. And I think the guys are, doing exactly what Gus wanted them to do, and that's why we've been picking it up in practice. So hopefully, this Saturday it can go into the game as well.
Casey, it's sometimes said that players take on kind of the image of their coach sometimes. In particular for you guys with Gus Bradley and in particular Ron Miles, is that the case where you're kind of in the image of Miles, especially in that secondary?
You try to be obviously. Being a guy that's been in this league and then also in this scheme for a while, you try to take on that role when you get on the field, because obviously those guys are not on the field with us. So you got to take on that role, and hopefully, more guys take on that same role because, Gus been in this league for a while, he had a lot of good defenses. So if we can get to that level of the way that he wants us to be, I think we got a chance to be a really good defense.
Hey Casey, it's Tashawn Reed from The Athletic. Obviously, you're somebody that's familiar with Gus Bradley. Haven't played under him for a few years. How have you sort of helped the younger defensive backs who haven't played come up to speed with the system and get used to it?
I think overall since OTAs, everybody's been doing a really good job of trying to learn, and I think. I don't know, like most people, myself, I learn off reps. And, getting the guys the reps and the walkthroughs in practice, I feel like guys are picking it up and guys are learning. That's how I learn anyway. And I think, a lot of us are visual learners, so we've been picking it up. And, we got some guys that played a lot of ball, on this defense. So, we got to be the guys that lead and, be the example. So that's what I try to do, and I know some of the other guys are trying to do the same thing.
Casey, you've been where Damon Arnette is right now, earlier in your career. Kind of had a rough year, his rookie year. How has he bounced back, and how do you feel like he's responded moving into year two?
I think he's done really well. Like I said, I wasn't here last year, so I only can tell you what I see now. You know what I mean? So I wasn't here last year, but I think he's doing really well. He's one of those guys that, got all the tools to be really good. And I think he's been flashing those tools in camp. And I hope he continues to do that because we're going to need him. So, you get picked in the first round to, show your talents and come and play. So we're going to need him to be really, really good. And I know he got all the tools to be really good. And, when he comes, he's trying to be like a sponge. He try to learn everything. So, anything he asks me, I try to tell him. Or if I see anything, I try to tell him, and vice versa. I'm not one of those guys that just say, I think I know everything. So there's been some times he'll be like, hey, this is what I seen, obviously. And I'm like, oh, appreciate it. And I try to learn from it, and vice versa.
You guys created a bunch of turnovers the other day. How much have you guys been emphasizing that, especially in the secondary?
That's what it's about. This game about, opportunities. The more opportunity we can give our offense, the better chance we got to win. You get two turnovers, the percentages, for your team to win jumps up tremendously. And 3 is almost like you're gonna win that game. So anytime we can, get a couple turnovers in the game, practice. Gus mindset is like they come in bunches. So you get your first one early, they tend to just keep coming, and that's how it's been for us.
What are the focuses, or what do you hope to learn about this defense and the secondary with the first preseason game?
I think everybody just want to, get out to somebody else. We've been going against, each other for so long. We try to protect ourselves and the team. You're not trying to tackle your own teammates or hurt your own teammates and things like that. So I think going into the preseason game, it's just going to be one of those ones like, hey, we finally get to go against somebody else and compete against somebody else, that's trying to beat us. So we got to, do the same thing for them. And I think, as a defense and as a team, we're going to be prepared. There's going to be some mistakes because, this is a learning curve for everybody, especially on this defensive side. But, hopefully, as the game goes and the more games we get, the defense has just turned into one of those defenses. Everybody like, hey, those guys flying around and not a weak link of the team.
Let's do one more if you guys have one.
Good.
Perfect.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Coach Gruden's right here.
Questions that I can.
John, Marcus Mariota wasn't on the field today. Is that anything to be concerned about, and does that leave his status on Saturday? Where does it leave his status on Saturday?
He's got a sore leg, so he couldn't practice. So I would think his status for the game is very much questionable.
Coach, is that a situation his sore leg, has that been something that's been bothering him for a while, or did he just recent?
No, he's had really good practices. You know, I think his two best practices. Practiced great in the stadium. He got hurt on the last run where he scored a touchdown on a zone read. I don't think it's serious. We think he's going to be fine in a few days. But a couple of the turnovers the other day had a lot to do with his injury.
Hey, John, we haven't seen Carl Joseph out there for a while. Is there any update on his state?
I don't have any update. He's getting better. He'll be back hopefully within the next week or so.
John, with the offensive line, you sort of want to be careful with the playing time leading up to the first week of the regular season, but when you have a retooled offensive line, you got to see them in reps. You got to see them in game action. What are you looking forward to seeing Saturday, and how do you plan on maybe spreading out those reps to look at the new line?
Well, we've had a lot of reps. The reps are not the problem. We're going to play the Rams, get a lot of reps down there also. We want to see our right tackle play a little bit. We want to see our new center play a little bit. We've got some young players that are competing for jobs that need to play a lot, so we're going to look at them. A couple of veteran guys won't play, but you'll see our first-round draft choice, and you'll see our young center.
How have you seen the defense kind of ratchet things up the last few practices?
I don't know. I had some turnovers the other day, or you could say the offense was just sloppy, or whatever you want to say. I expect it to be better. You know, we put a lot into our defense. We made a lot of changes, and I think Ngakoue and Crosby have been leaders. We still have a long way to go. We got a lot to prove.
How did you see the offense bounce back? How did they respond today? How did you feel they responded?
I thought they did fine. They're doing fine every day. I'm pleased with the offense. We got a long way to go there too, but everybody has their day.
Seems like Hayward's another guy that's maybe been a leader on the defense. Guys following him. What have you seen out of him at camp?
Well, he's a polished pro, number one. He's experienced in this system, number two. Got a lot of history with the coaching staff, number three. So he can translate information in his own way, in a very unique way. He's a guy guys have to follow. You know, he's a hell of a player. Played great as a nickel corner. Played great as an outside corner. Doesn't miss practice. Doesn't make mistakes. So he's been great for our guys.
As much as you want Arnette to now progress, how much can having him help him progress, or is it more on Damon to progress?
I think it helps all the corners. It helps Trayvon Mullen, helps Nate Hobbs. We're young back. John Abram, Gillespie, Merring, they're all young. You know, to have a guy in there that's been on a great defense that knows the inner workings of all the things that are going to happen, it's a huge asset for us. I said it earlier, it's much like Eric Allen did for Charles Woodson back in the day.
John, I know you all had the stadium practice in front of fans, but this upcoming Saturday will be your first game in front of fans since the franchise relocated to Las Vegas. What's just your level of excitement about having that opportunity coming up this weekend?
It gets you goosebumps. It gets you excited. I don't think you're going to see a lot of the players play, unfortunately, because of the reality of what this is. This is an exhibition game, but to unite with our fans and kick off football season officially in Las Vegas is something we're really excited about, something we really take a lot of pride in.
We've heard a lot of talk this preseason about GPS numbers and the tracking on the field and that sort of thing. I know that wasn't around, in your day. How have you embraced it, and what do you think about all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's reports out there that I don't listen to that stuff. I sarcastically say that just to, make some of my adversaries happy. I'm not an idiot, if you know what I mean. We practice in the Mojave Desert here. The desert here is we're practicing at 7 in the morning, so we do gather all kinds of information. We have some of the best trainers and doctors and people here that you could imagine. So we're going to be real careful and smart, and you're darn right we listen to that stuff. And our players like it and appreciate it, and we'll continue to do that.
You did make an adjustment yesterday to practice. Is that in response sometimes to the elements here and having to monitor that and stay on top of that?
Well, it's been reported we had a day off. There was no day off. We have linebacker coaches, running back coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. We have strength and conditioning coaches. So we turned it up yesterday in the strength and conditioning room. We have some guys that are low on gas, and we needed to do some things to get their legs back, hydrate them properly. Even coaches are getting IVs. Some of you guys look like you could use an IV personally. It's hot, man. So, hydration is a big part of it. And our conditioning, we had a great practice today, a lot of energy. I liked it. We took the coaches off the field, and, sometimes changing the schedule is good for us.
John, you had a familiar face out there in Rich Gannon. Again, is it just part of the culture and things that you're doing here to bring those guys back and talk to the guys?
Yeah, Gannon is he's going to broadcast the game, and I can't believe he's not doing all the games. He's his preparation, his work ethic. I've always marveled at. He's a great friend, and I've had a lot of great experiences with him. To see my dad and Gannon out there on the same day, my two favorite G-men of all time. All right, have a good one, guys.
Damon, year two, you got a full off season under your belt, unlike last year, which is kind of crazy. How much more comfortable do you feel moving into year two of your NFL career?
I feel a lot comfortable, a lot more comfortable. I'm healthy. I don't have to worry about a cast. The team, we closer than we were last year. Just another year under our belt. So overall, on all angles, I'm confident and comfortable, more comfortable.
Have you ever been through a season like you had last year between the hand, the surgery, playing through the injury, COVID-19, the concussions? I mean, it's stacked.
Nah, like it was a lot of new types of adversity, first time adversities that I had trouble getting through, but I got through. You know what I'm saying? So year two is gonna be an exciting one.
You look bigger than you did last year.
Hell yeah.
Getting into
y'all see that? Hold on.
Hard to lift weights with a big cast on your hand.
Like, it ain't just bands, Like I'm lifting iron now.
Well, what I was going to ask you about that is when you have the big cast on your hand, how much did that curtail you being able to get into the weight room and keep the weight on? Because it looked like you were smaller when you got back from that surgery last year.
Oh yeah, I was like the most I weighed last year probably was like 175. And with the cast, everything was just banded. Like I ain't lift no dumbbells, barbells, plates. Everything was just straight bands and body weight. So I couldn't back squat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it was very limited on the things that I could do.
Do you feel that on the field? Like not being able to kind of play as physical as and standing up physically.
Oh no, I had no problem playing physical. It was just my body couldn't take it. But as far as the decision to throw my shit in there, it was a no-brainer every time. Like, I'm gonna throw it in as hard as I can. But year two is more so about playing smart and playing to my strengths more. Every play don't have to be a knockdown hit, but then the plays that I am faced with where it's about physical strength, my body will be ready to take on.
Yeah. This to Sean Reed from The Athletic. I know typically throughout your college and obviously last year, you kind of focus on more, press man coverage. How you adjusted to this new system with Gus Bradley kind of working in more cover three and just how you make the adjustment overall throughout training camp?
I feel like me and my teammates, we adjusting really well to it. I know specifically for me, it's a lot of the same coverages that I ran in college, dealing with some of the same coaches who coach together. They tend to share schemes and things like that. So I was real familiar with the coverages and things like that. I just had to match up. Like it was just I just called it something different in college, but it's the same concepts and things like that. Once I understood like the Raider talk, the terminology, I was able to start piecing things together.
Casey Hayward at USA Today. Sorry, go ahead.
Casey Hayward was just in here and spoke highly of you. Said he's been really impressed since you guys have been working together. What's it been like having him around, and what's you guys' relationship like?
Yeah, he's a really good dude, funny dude. He cares about the team and the group. I feel like it's something that didn't stand out last year. It's just that one leader role, that big brother role, that vet energy in the room is just taking a turn on everybody. Everybody's looking up to him. Everybody's taking his advice. And it just seems like he was like that piece that I wish we did have last year, but more happy that we got him this year. Yeah, he's a great teacher. Yeah, and I fought with him. Well, I like him a lot, my bad. Yeah, my fault.
David, you just mentioned that the adversity you went through last year. How much did that help you mentally? It might have maybe like humbled you a little bit and sort of helped you get through the mental drama of missing half the season.
Yeah, man. It was. I feel like I'm mentally sharp right now. Last year, my mentality was tested in a lot of areas of my life, and a lot of things you can't prepare somebody for, just some of those things, and I didn't do a good job with handling them. But the support of the coaches, my teammates, my family, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to get through the things that I was dealing with. And then once I started learning how to lean on my support, all the people that are really there for you, that's when I started to see growth, not just on the football field, but in my life, So.
Damon, Levi Damon, USA Today. Obviously, you have a new position coach in Ron Miles. What has the experience been like with him? And has he said anything in particular that really resonated with you?
Oh, everything he say resonates with me because he'll say it 3 times. Like he'll say it one time and then say, wait, no. Say it again. Then say it one more time. So everything he say, I remember. But he brings another different type of energy. A genuine teacher, everything he's doing is for us to get better. Everything he teaches us don't be football stuff. So then he's gaining trust by showing genuine concern about our well-being, and it just feels like he's more than a football coach. I respect him a lot. I know he respects me. I know he respects everybody in the room, and vice versa. He has a track record of dealing with some high-profile guys. So that alone, and just being my second year, first year for real, because last year was some hell. So, and then having somebody like him come in my second year is a blessing just to help navigate everything and get it back on track.
Damon, were you, as a football player, were you a fan of the Legion of Boom at all with the Seahawks? And then do you see any of those tendencies in Gus Bradley's scheme, since he was one of the architects of the Legion of Boom?
Oh yeah, we gonna be calling it something else though. We ain't gonna call ourselves Legion of Boom. It's gonna be something. I'm thinking of something.
You still working on that?
Yeah, it's coming quick though. We need it before Saturday. So I'm coming. Yeah.
You working the net way into that?
Oh, the net. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the own. So they gonna have to come up with their own personal things. Netway, that's my shit. That's mine for real.
We saw Coach Gruden joke around with you when he came in here, and I remember last year he spoke highly of just dealing with you and being around you that you make things fun. What is it about you two that you've really meshed with Coach Gruden?
I feel like we both got like a couple screws, just, you know what I'm saying? I might have a little bit more on the flow than he do, but we could relate. You know, that's my guy. He's a great dude, great coach. He understands me. You know, he not the type to judge you. He gonna talk to you as human to human, young person to younger person. You know, I ain't gonna. So yeah, Gruden. I really love Gruden for real, and he know how we rock. So.
Thanks, Damon.
I appreciate y'all.